we realized that actually right now is the best time to take care more of what you already have in terms of like kung meron ka mga bag or collection ng mga bag, dapat mas ingatan mo yun ngayon, di ba? Because of the fact that like you also want to make sure that your investment, because bags are now considered investment, are taken care of already, the ones that you have.
Dr. Vel Criste, thank you so much for joining us on So Jannelle. I know you're very busy. Thank you for making time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here, and I'm such a huge fan. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You know what? First of all, thank you as well for your service on the front lines. And this is what I find remarkable about your story. You protect children as a pediatrician, and that's your profession. But as a side hustle, you protect or you make products that protect luxury bags. Those two lives, I mean, how do they even intersect?
That is true. I mean, if you think about it, parang hindi siya connected totally. Taking care of kids has been my lifelong advocacy for sure. It will always be my primary profession and primary lifelong advocacy to help children. However, I'm not just a pediatrician. I am also a passionate bag collector. And I also, as a mom and wife, I also like home decorating, organizing. And so basically, that's how it started because I couldn't find an appropriate storage display case for my bags. And so I had to make it, like invent it. And that's how luxury bag display started. We have the design patented, and we did a lot of research in terms of like all the features that it has in terms of moisture control, etc. And so that's how it ended up being so. And fortunately for me, I have a husband who's very supportive of my ideas, and we are the first and only luxury bag display case provider actually in the world. So we're very proud of that.
That's actually a good business. How old is luxury bag display now?
We had our soft opening about 2 years ago, and we didn't fully launch until just last year because of the fact that we wanted to make sure that our product worked, meaning that it could protect and avoid, prevent discoloration and all that with the leather. So I used it on my bags for a year or so before we launched it. So just to make sure that our product is safe for the bags itself. So yeah, around last year, basically.
And that's very interesting because you did this in the time of a pandemic.
Yes, actually, yeah, that was very challenging because, I never stopped working throughout the pandemic. And I'm very proud of the fact that despite all the lockdowns and whatnot, I never missed a single day of work. I was lucky enough not to catch COVID. And I had to continue on with my work. And since our business is online and we could do it from home, I guess that helped a lot in being able to launch the business faster and easier for us. So the difference with this case is the fact that, of course, it's made from high quality acrylic, so you can display your bags anywhere. Second, it protects it from dust. That's the biggest, you don't want to keep on cleaning or dusting your bag. And then third, it also comes with these vent holes on the sides because leather needs to breathe. It's like skin. So you can't just, put it in a box or a plastic box or plastic bag and not let it breathe because it's going to destroy the leather. It's got these hooks because the problem with some of the bags like Jannelle, these chains can impinge on the leather and cause dents. And so that's why I invented the hooks on the lids to make it look nice, when you display it, and also to get that pressure off of the bag. Lastly, it also comes with a desiccant, a reusable desiccant that you can microwave and reuse to absorb excess moisture, because moisture is the biggest enemy of leather as well. So basically, these are, I based my research on how I created luxury bag display on museum quality storage.
Mm.
because the fact that, and actually we're coming up with a new case for some of the bags that also has UV blocking abilities, because that's another enemy of leather, discoloration and UV light. So basically, this is the case for like OCD people like me, who wants to preserve and display their bags. And like I said, the other reason, it's not just the expensive bags that you need to store. It's also like sentimental bags like this one. This is a 36-year-old Chanel bag. So I mean, I wanted to keep this, to remember my mom. This is not her original bag, but it's similar to what she had. And so I wanted, hopefully pass it on to my daughter someday. But yeah, I mean, it's they last forever if you take care of them really well.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not out of the woods yet, but
No,
as a doctor and as an entrepreneur, like how have you been?
we are surviving just like everybody else. We're moving forward as much as we could. Although, because our products are made of acrylic, our production has been affected because, of course, the priorities right now is making all those shields and all the acrylic based devices that are in the market right now are the same material, almost the same material that we use for our cases. So we took a setback on that as well. But we decided that we realized that actually right now is the best time to take care more of what you already have in terms of like kung meron ka mga bag or collection ng mga bag, dapat mas ingatan mo yun ngayon, di ba? Because of the fact that like you also want to make sure that your investment, because bags are now considered investment, are taken care of already, the ones that you have. So basically, that's why I said let's just go on and forge with it. In terms of like health wise, with the lockdown, of course, there was a big slowdown of patient flow at the beginning, and then when it started opening up, the influx started coming in, and we just try our best. Luckily for us, we have been vaccinated already. So we try our best to protect ourselves to make sure that we don't catch an infection and give the infection to our patients as well. And, we still have to provide, we have to be there for our patients and their families, even during this time. I mean, all throughout this time. So not much has changed in terms of that.
Right, right. But I want to make mention also as a pediatrician by profession, I know that you're familiar with how the pandemic has affected also mental health of children.
Very true. I mean, I have seen a huge rise in mental health crisis among kids. Not just the fact that, most kids are in remote learning, are isolated socially. And for kids, they're very, especially at certain ages, they're very touchy and they learn through examples and seeing things. And so a lot of the kids have struggled so much this year. And I've seen that with rising cases of depression, diagnosis, ADHD, behavioral problems overall, and just overall like major mental health crisis. All I can say for like the families who are going through all those things is I just tell them that, you have to realize that we are all stressed out at the same time, and that you shouldn't pressure anybody, yourself or your children, to do certain things the same way as it was done before, because that adds pressure. Like, if you're expecting your child to do this and this and this at school, and they're not able to meet that because of the fact that they're learning through online and it doesn't work for them, you just have to let go and realize that you can't win all the battles at this point. But the good news is that kids are so resilient. They're so resilient that they can overcome this. And that's the light of the tunnel that I tell parents, like, your kid may be falling behind right now, but you know what, they bounce back so fast. So you'll be amazed, like once we start opening up again and once things are more normal, that they'll catch up. So don't worry, don't stress out. too
Okay.
much.
What advice can you give parents out there? How do we know? How can we tell? Are there telltale signs that our children are going through depression, perhaps, or are distressed, or stressed out?
Okay. Well, some of the signs of depression in kids are very subtle. Actually, most of the signs are, them misbehaving. Actually, you would think that, depressed people are just quiet and sleeping, or, not wanting to do a lot of things. That's the typical picture that we see on of depression. But in kids, it's the opposite. They actually act out more. They become more rebellious. They throw tantrums, of course, and basically, you see that through school, their grades falling and whatnot. Some kids who are older will be vocal about it, like they say what they feel, but the younger kids usually will present with acting out. And so, I mean, the best way to deal with this is definitely to go and ask for help, meaning for your child. And the first step is usually counseling. There's child counselors that are experts in how to talk to kids, manage their feelings, and go through this stressful time. It's not just about medication. Most of the time for kids is really about finding the right counselor that can help you and your family um, manage this crisis, because it is considered a crisis, especially for the child.
See, we're learning a lot from you about taking care of our children, taking care of our bags. You are a doctor, an entrepreneur. You're also a mom and a wife. How do you juggle all these?
I'm going to be very honest with that. I mean, it's very hard. Of course, I have to multitask. And here in the States, wala naman tayong mga katulong, wala tayong mga driver. We do everything on our own. It also helps that I have a partner, my husband, who helps me juggle everything together as well. But at the same time, all I can say for families who are trying to do the same thing would be, you just have to take things slow. I mean, the biggest enemy really is standing still. And so you take one step at a time in terms of what you want to do or need to do for your family. Of course, your family will always be your priority, followed by your career, and and then eventually whatever else that you're passionate about. And it's hard, but I mean, if you're not gonna try, I think that's the biggest regret you'll ever have. So, with this business, which is something new, something different, we really dove in with our heads first and just said we better do this or go bust. So that's why you just have to start somewhere, and you just have to try.
And I guess that's also your advice for budding entrepreneurs,
Yeah,
right? Have to
definitely.
start somewhere, right?
You just have to start somewhere, and then, like, at this time, if you are juggling with all sorts of different hats that you wear, whether you're a woman or a man, basically more of women, because we do a lot more multitasking. I think that you just have to take things slow, like I said, and don't pressure yourself too much to be the top right away or to succeed right away. But you just have to try.
Right. And for those out there that can benefit from a luxury bag display cases, where can they check you out?
Okay, so we are available online at luxurybagdisplay.com. So it's spelled the same way. And for followers of Jannelle, don't forget to use the discount code Jannelle15 for 15% off.
All right. I thank you.
Salamat thank you so much for the, supporting somebody like me, who's a small business owner trying to do her thing and succeed.
No, of course, women supporting women, right? So more power to you. God bless you on your journey, on your entrepreneurial journey, as well as on your profession. And again, thank you so much for your service on the front lines.
Thank you so much, Jannelle. Thank you.